Let us learn about some important terms related to Androecium. Now, if you remember, we studied about Androecium, which is the male reproductive organ of a flower, and the single unit is called a stamen. Single unit of Androecium is called a stamen, which is further made up of two parts, anther and filament, right? So now this stamen can be found either attached to some other members of the flower, such as the petal, or they may be attached to each other. So when stamen is formed attached to a petal, then the condition is called epipetalous. An example of this is brinjal, or in the Solanaceae family. So suppose this is the thalamus and this is the petal, and the stamens are attached on the petal like this. So when the stamens are attached to the petal, they are called epipetalous. Example is brinjal or the members of Solanaceae family. Now, sometimes the stamen is found attached to the perianth. We also studied about the perianth. If you remember, when the sepals and petals are not distinct, when you cannot differentiate between a sepal and a petal just by looking at it, they look like a single unit, they have the same color. So such kind of condition is called a perianth, which is usually found in lily. We studied about it, right? So the term which explains, or the term for this condition is called epiphyllous. And the example is lily. Alright, so this was about the conditions when the stamen is found attached to some other part of the flower. Now let us learn about the conditions in which the stamen may be attached to themselves and form a bundle. Alright, so the stamens can be free or attached to each other. Within a flower, the stamens can be free or they can be found attached to each other in the form of a bundle. So when the stamens are free, then it is called polyandrous. The condition is called polyandrous when the stamens are free within a flower. And when they are attached, they can be attached to varying degrees, like they can be attached into a one bundle or one bunch, or there can be two bundles or bunch, or there can be more than two bundles. So let us learn about these conditions. When the stamens are attached together in the form of one bunch or bundle, that condition is called monoadelphous. Example for monoadelphous is China rose. Then if the stamens are joined together into two bundles or bunch, such condition is called diadelphous. Example is P. If more than two bundles are found, such condition is called polyadelphous. As in the case of citrus plants. Alright, so these were some important terms related to Androecium. The Androecium has the single unit called stamen. The stamen can be found attached to petal or perianth, or they may be attached together. When they are attached to a petal, it is called epipetalous. When they are attached to perianth, it is called epiphyllous. I have given you the examples for each of these. When the stamens are joined together, then there can be different conditions. If the stamen is free within a flower, it is called polyandrous. When they are attached within themselves, within a flower among themselves into one bunch, it is called monoadelphous. In two bunch, it is called diadelphous. If more than two bunch are found, then it is called polyadelphous. Now the length of the stamens or the length of the filaments of the stamen can vary within a flower. The length of the filament of stamen. If you remember the structure of the stamen, we studied it has two parts, right? This is called anther and this is called filament. So this length of the filament can differ or vary within one flower. There might be a variation in the length of filaments within a flower, and the examples of the flowers which show such kind of variation in the filament length are salvia and mustard. Alright, so if this is the flower, the length of the filament can vary like this within the flower. Examples for such flower are salvia and mustard. So I hope all these terms are clear to you. That's all for this lecture. Thank you so much.